Seeing welcome everyone to the Social Simulation Week 2020, which has been sponsored by ESSA and the Behave Lab in the University of Milan. As Flaminio said, I'm Gary Polhill, and I'm actually in Scotland right now. I'm at the James Hutton Institute in Aberdeen, but this what you're seeing is my home behind me, because like many of you, I'm not going into the office. We thought it might be a good idea, I recognize many of the names in the list of participants, but we thought it might be a good idea to introduce the European Social Simulation Association to those of you who are not familiar with who we are. Yeah, right, next slide. So, on the right-hand side, you can see an article in JAS. JAS, the Journal of Artificial Societies and Social Simulation, is the journal for social simulation. It's open access, and this is one of the earlier articles in it, which published a manifesto for forming the European Social Simulation in 2002. The constitutional objectives of ESSA, and you can find out more about us by following the link at the bottom of the screen, www.essa.eu.org. Our constitutional objectives are firstly to encourage social simulation research, secondly, to promote interdisciplinary cooperation, especially among social scientists and computer scientists, but in fact, we don't exclude any discipline. To promote wider international collaboration in social simulation, to support education, to hold conferences and workshops, of which this is one, and to liaise with other international societies who represent bodies of people doing social simulation research. We have very reasonable annual membership fees, 50 euros for professionals, 30 euros for students. And I should emphasize that membership is open to anyone, not just European citizens. Right. So what do you get in return for joining us? Well, when we do have conferences that are located in space rather than internet, you will typically get a reduced conference fee. And we regularly publish a newsletter just letting our members know of the Society's activities. They may also sometimes advertise jobs or recent interesting work in social simulation. As an ESSA member, if you're organizing a workshop, you can apply to us for sponsorship, just to sort of help that workshop run, and that would be sent to the management committee. And recently we introduced something called the Open Labs Initiative, which allows people to know who is open for visits, so that students and professionals in agent-based social simulation who want to meet with other people, we often find ourselves alone in our organizations, and the Open Labs Initiative is an opportunity to get together with other people who are willing to host visitors. And as an ESSA member, you can act as an Open Labs Initiative host. You can also vote in elections and at the General Assembly. And for those ESSA members here now, it is still not too late to vote for the election of the Management Committee. And I would remind you to do that. You can stand for election as a member of the Management Committee if you want. You can form a special interest group. The Society has a number of special interest groups, and again, you can find out more about these from our website. And the Your membership fees also help support the advancement of social simulation. And I think in many ways that's the chief benefit of being a member. Now, we manage our membership using a system called Wild Apricot. So we have a separate address to for people to log in. You can access that from the main website at www.essa.eu.org. And that's the link to go to if you want to join us. And I very much hope that some of you will think about doing that. So I thought it was worth telling you a little bit about our conferences. The first European Social Simulation Association conference that was actually labelled as such was in 2003, though in fact it was the 6th conference of SimSoc at the same time. So there's a SimSoc mailing list on Jiskmail, which you can also join. And that's another very good place to find out about what's going on in social simulation and participate in some sort of live academic discussions, if you like. That was held in Groningen, and these ESSA conferences were held every year. And we then started holding world congresses in social simulation that enabled us to link up with other groups around the world, and we've held 5 of those. In 2014, we started the Social Simulation Conference series through a merger with artificial economics and computational archaeology, and that was the first social simulation conference that was named as such was in Barcelona in 2014. And since 2014, we've been to Groningen and Rome and Dublin and Stockholm and Mainz, and now we are on Zoom. And I thought it was just worth on the right-hand side showing you that what we do with conference papers. We have perhaps a practice around publishing proceedings from conferences that many of you will not be used to or familiar with from your home disciplines. And this is because we are an interdisciplinary society. We have to cater to the disciplinary needs of various different attitudes towards conferences. So for example, if you're a computer scientist, then conferences are very important, whereas if you're a social scientist, papers are much more important. And sometimes social science journals won't accept papers that have been published previously in conference proceedings, and even if they've been revised or show new results or something. So we have this practice of selecting articles for a volume of Springer proceedings, and then publishing those and giving people the choice of whether to include their paper if they're invited to join us. So that's all I have to say about ESSA and our conferences, and I will now hand you over to Flaminio, who will introduce this specific one, the Social Simulation Week. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present ESSA to you.